Hey, you! I'm your nutrition coach. My name is Jackie Poole. Welcome to Happiness is a Healthier Habit. Let's get today's episode started. Hey. Welcome back to Happiness is a Healthier Habit, your go-to for sustainable, realistic mom life and habits that actually stick. So today we are diving into something super cool, a science-backed way to protect, even, and rebuild your muscle as we age, right? Without dieting harder or living in the gym. Today, I really want to emphasize on talking about something called PeptiStrong Plus, which is also the hero ingredient in the peptide supplement that I call and I religiously take for my workouts during my workouts, which is called Fit from Make Wellness. I know it's going to sound a little sciencey, but I'm going to try to break it down. I'm going to break it down into terms that I can understand, right? That's how I like to be talked to. And so doing some of the research and, thinking about what to talk about these next few weeks and based on how life is going, I feel like I should really put a shining light on this supplement, right? Because I think it's been a total game changer if you want to build muscle, if you want to feel energized, and if you really want to build and strengthen your body and improve metabolically for the future, right? For when you are in your 40s and 50s and beyond. So it starts with making those decisions today. And so I really wanted to emphasize on this and really talk about why muscle matters more than you think. So let's just kind of start there. Your muscles aren't just about lifting weights or helping you look, more toned. Muscle is your metabolic engine. It really clears blood sugars. It burns more calories at rest. It keeps your joints safe and prevents falls and injuries as we age. And I've always said this before, I want to be strong for when my kids are old and grown. I don't want them to take care of me. That is something that I fear, and I think I've expressed this plenty of times. That is something that I see quite often in our culture as Hispanics, like especially women. We kind of just let go and expect our kids to take care of us. And my mom has been such a great example of her not always, but as we've grown and gotten older, like she takes care of herself. She tries to be very mobile and takes the supplements and takes care of her body and goes to the doctor and really because she doesn't want to burden me or my brother. And I think I've really appreciated that. And I want to be the same way. I don't want to be a burden to my kiddos. I want to be strong. I want to be like really fit and super looking, because when you see those people at the gym, like those older folks, like they are so inspirational. They definitely, like, you take a second look, way more inspiring than like the 20-year-olds with the six packs. Like, yeah, you're doing it now, but can you do it when you're 60, when you're 70? Like, that to me is more impressive. And so that is something that I look forward to and try to work towards, right? But here's the problem. We as a society start losing muscle in our 30s, right? And so by the time we're in our 50s and 60s, some of us have lost 30 to 40% of it, and when things like fatigue or belly fat or, even blood sugar issues creep in, it's not just because we're aging, it's because we're losing muscle. I don't think we talk about that enough. And so it's something that it's happening because actively, I think most people aren't really focusing on building strength, building muscle, right? I think a lot of people, and this is around me, like I know a lot of, girls that I used to do Zumba with and I used to teach, like they focus on the cardio side aspect and they're doing all of this cardio and doing all of the, classes, but none of it is trying to help with improving the quality or maintaining our muscle mass. And so the science part of it, I want to talk about that a little bit to make it as simple as possible, right? So what can we do? What can we do to make sure that the strength and the training helps us, even though you like those classes or you know that you need to build that, like what do we do, right? What is the protocol? What is it that we need to do to make sure that those things aren't happening to you or to me, or maybe you are overdoing it with the cardio and you are losing muscle mass. And this can look as, injuries starting to happen, right? I see this quite a bit. A lot of girls like, oh, I messed up my foot, I stepped wrong, I had a fall, and the recovery takes a really long time, right? So that's where the peptides come in. It is something that are called, so the peptides that we have that I recommend and that I stand by would be, Fit Peptides from Make Wellness, right? They are precision peptides. Basically, they are these tiny pieces of protein. My sister-in-law the other day asked me, like, what are they? So here it goes. They definitely work like messengers in your body. And again, one of them tells your body to build muscle, faster. The second one would be it helps calm inflammation, which again is a big reason why people feel tired and achy all the time, right? So those two things, by lowering inflammation, by helping inflammation and improving your building muscle, it's going to be a great thing because the way these peptides are made, it is with help of AI. So it's not a random thing that they put together. It is literally, AI going through thousands and thousands of simulations of like what could be the best thing to design to really target that muscle loss or target that inflammation directly, right? And because they're naturally derived from plants, from faba beans, they're safe, easy to absorb, and don't require, best part, a prescription or a needle, which again, peptides can be so expensive these days. I think that's why it's really important that you understand that this is something that you can do easily take. And for me, I don't even take it every day. To me, that is the best part. I take it only during my workouts 3 days a week. And so I've been consistent with it pretty much since I started using them last November. And it's made a world of a difference in my strength gains, in my running game, in how I recover. And so why this is different than your average, protein powder. So I know what you're thinking, like, Jackie, I already drink a protein shake. I already take, probiotics and creatine and, all of these things. But this is really not the same, right? Protein shakes are great for hitting your macros, but they don't always survive digestion. Again, when you're taking protein, your body's thermal effect is already breaking some of that protein to use as energy. And so you're not quite getting all of it when you're eating that. And so that is another topic for another day. But they don't have these tiny peptides that can directly trigger muscle building pathways. So the way Fit by Make Wellness pairs these peptides with a blend of nutrients that I've talked about, NAD levels, which really help support kind of like your energy currency and support your mitochondria, muscle cells, and again, even your brain health, right? Especially when you curate it with creatine, which is something that I love doing. And so it's really like upgrading your protein to smart multitasking tool that really supports longevity. And so adding this to my routine, like I've said before, I can't remember the last time I was sore. I don't get sore, guys. Like that to me, it's insane because I am lifting heavier than I have been before. I'm lifting myself. Like I constantly put my pull-up videos online. Like I can do 9 with the least resistance band that I have. And so that's a goal. That's a goal that I have, to be able to do like pull-ups without any resistance bands. And so I couldn't even do a pull-up when I started my fitness journey, guys. And so to do 9 on this band that it has very little resistance is such a testament of the strength that I've built, the muscle that I've gained. And so through my experience, I started using Fit pretty much daily, and then I started just using it during my workouts. And of course, I like to stack it with my creatine. And so again, I've noticed a better recovery, more energy during my workouts. It definitely supporting my goal to reach that 20% body fat without overtraining and not spending hours at the gym. The reason I spend hours at the gym is because I go to the sauna and do like all of the extra and above bioactive, hacks that I like to do, right? But I enjoy those. But as far as like spending time at the gym, I am not working out for like 2 to 3 hours every day, guys. I'm literally only working right now for an hour or so every workout session. And so I never thought I would be 20% body fat. And so without overtraining, without having to sacrifice, things like I still eat pizza, I would have some chips here and there, I would have my treats, I would have bread, I'm having rice, like without cutting myself off and being like super, strict. And so in my last body scan that I had, I've definitely gained more muscle. I haven't done one recently, which I want to, and see where I'm at, but it's been a little chaotic lately. So with the parenting and husband's going away, so it's been really hard to kind of schedule that lately. But I do want to do that and show you guys like my muscle mass has definitely improved. And yeah, there's nothing bad that I felt with the peptides as far as like me showing them. And there's been thousands and thousands of before and afters that I could pull up and show you too. Like the way people are talking about these peptides, it's insane. And again, it's just another tool that you can use to, help you get to your goals, right? But this is not the end all be all. As much as a supporter that I am to these supplements, you have to start with the basics first, right? let's start with building a good foundation, which is, again, focusing on your non-negotiables, making sure you're sleeping well, making sure you're hydrating well, making sure your protein, that you're feeding your body when it needs, right? I've been working with a couple of clients these past months, and they were at a stage where, some of them aren't hitting nearly the protein goals. They are not nearly hitting, the recovery, the sleep that they need. And so life gets busy, and if skipping meals and, it's hard for you, or, you don't know why you're not losing weight, or we really need to focus on those basic foundation things. So I really would, like to help. So if you're ready to feel like you're going to support your body, if you feel like you need to work smarter, not harder, if you feel like you need some science-backed tools instead of just pushing harder, and if you feel like you're doing it and there's just a missing thing, right? I've said this before as well, like when you're trying to log into your email or, to an account, you can have all of the right letters except one, and you're missing that one key. And sometimes it just takes that one tool, that one letter, to unlock your account. And so this might actually be the missing piece. So I just wanted to remind you that I have the link in the show notes. If you want to try Fit for yourself, email me. My email will be in the show notes as well. Peptide or Instagram, my handle is below. You can definitely, message me. And we can talk about how we can help you, how we can get you there. The summer is literally here. It is, I'm in Texas, and the heat is coming in strong. So yeah, I'm here. That's it for today, my friend. Remember, your body's listening. Take care of it, with the things that work and that are science-backed. And these are not random things that I'm saying. This is through experience of training for years now, since I had my first son, to the difference that I have now. Even a few years ago, like when I got down to 122, and I just looked like skinny fat. I just looked like a stick. And as of now, I reached that number again, and I look completely different as far as like being more stronger and having more muscle. So supplements, if you're doing all the right things, they have their place. And if you're ready to make that change, I am here to help you out. And I do want to remind you, if you love this episode, don't forget to rate, review, and share with somebody who needs to hear this. And yeah, we'll talk next time. Bye.